So it sounds like, that jumps into what you call in your book a stronghold.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a daily decision that we have to make the right choices,
right.
Especially when we're so used to doing certain things and having quick response.
Mm-hmm.
So with you, how did you separate yourself or decide to separate yourself from, the people that were in your life who were not looking out for either your best interest in order to be that foundation, the motherly foundation for your kids?
It was hard because everybody was so, close connected. It's like we drew to each other, Honestly, I had to eventually move, which is what I did, and that's when I got married the first time. It's like for a couple of weeks, everything was fine. I wasn't getting high. I started working. I got promoted on a job, and then I met this guy. It was always a guy. I'm not kidding. It was always a guy. And the guy was a drug dealer,
mm-hmm.
and he was working where I was working. And, we started seeing each other for a while, and he would say things like, well, I don't want you to hang with this person or that person. And I've always been this type of person. If I'm in a relationship, if my man asks me to do this, I'm going to go ahead and do it. That's how I was.
Loyalty.
And so, yeah, and so, he would say, well, I don't want you to go hang with so-and-so and so. And so that part right there, it was a choice because I wanted to do what my man had asked of me, but then at the same time I would see my friends and they'd be like, why don't you come chill, and this kind of thing. So it got to the point one day he just came home because it got real bad. Both of us started getting high,
mm-hmm.
and we worked at the same place, and he came home one day and he said, let's get married. And I was like, okay, sure, why not? I mean, I didn't even think it. I was just thinking,
like, I'm cool, you cool.
Yeah,
we
we cool with each other. Let's just go. Let's do it. And so we went and got married, and then he came home 3 days later and said, "Oh yeah, I joined the army." And I was like, "What?" And he said, "I joined the army," and I was like, okay. And then he said, "Well, my first station is Texas," and I said, "Texas." Now I was living in Virginia. I had never moved or lived, anywhere else other than Virginia. My entire family was there. I'm not saying entire family was there, and I had small kids, and I was like, I can't do that. And then it hit. You married now. You married this man, and so we moved, and that's how I separated from doing the things that I used to do so comfortably, because like I said, it was easy for me to go and get high because it was easy for me to go to somebody and say, hey, I need this, can you hook me up?
Mm-hmm.
And so that was never a problem. Oh, I don't have any money, that's okay, I just want to get high.
Right.
Come on, girl, and because everybody. And so it was never one of those things where, no, I'm not going to give you that because you got kids and blah, blah, blah. It wasn't that, so getting high was never a problem. Having the money to get high was never a problem. So I just needed to get away.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that's what we have to do. We have to start all over. And I do believe that there was a divine intervention from God to move me from one place to the next in order for me to start over. So that's how that goes on that end. Yeah.
Okay. And also in your book, you talked about how as a kid you attended church
Mm-hmm.
On a weekly basis.
Yes.
What's the difference between accepting Christ as a child and accepting Christ as an adult? Basically, why were you receptive as a child? If so, how or why not?
I was receptive as a child, but I think I was receptive out of emotions. My grandmother raised us. Both of our grandmothers were in church, and they worked in ministry and sang in the choir. And so we were raised. We went to Sunday school, if you were at my grandmother's house, you went to Sunday school, you went to church.
Like, as
period.
for me in my house,
yeah,
we'll serve the
exactly.
Lord.
There was no, if you're sick, okay, we're going to the altar. But so
take some penicillin.
yeah, something that's gonna make it work. We're gonna lay hands on you, but you're going to church. Mm-hmm. So there was no staying home, and we had to be active because my grandmother was like this: if we can be active in school, if we can go outside and play, and with our friends and do all these different things, and we can be active, with the Lord. And so that's how we were raised. So when I got baptized, it was like I knew that Jesus loved me. And I would hear the songs, and it's like now you hear the songs and you get caught up. Some people, before you know about the relationship with Christ, you get caught up in the music. It sounds so beautiful, and that's how I was when I was younger. We would sing songs, and and people crying, and I remember just going and said I wanted to be baptized because all I knew that Jesus loved me, and I knew that no matter what, that He was going to love me, and so I wanted to do what He wanted me to do. But I just didn't know how to do that, so I thought that my first step was to get baptized. Now, when I got older, it was a different ballgame because, when you get older, you realize, okay, it's more than just saying I'm baptized. I need to know who God is. I need to accept Him for who He is and know, that if I'm sick, He can heal me, and know that if I need something, He can provide it, and know that I can be happy, with Him. And so I had to learn how to build a personal relationship with Him as an adult versus trying to build a relationship with Him as a child through emotions. Because, when we get older, we start to feel different emotions, and it's not based on emotions. Mm-hmm. It's based on that personal, intimate relationship about who Jesus Christ is. And so that's the difference from accepting the Lord as a child. As a child, we speak like a child. Well, I was acting like a child, and I thought that was what I was supposed to do, in order just to make me feel okay. But then when I got older, I realized that it's more than feeling okay, because every day you're not going to feel okay, but you have to keep going.
It's like that roller coaster of happiness.
Yeah.
However your day is going, are you going to be happy?
Right.
If it's going bad, you're going to be down.
Right,
so
right. Exactly, exactly.
All right. So after you were no longer a kid, you talked about how you started not going to church as much, mm-hmm. and it's a lot of kids out there, especially teenagers. Once they become a certain age, they just slow down, or mm-hmm. they're out at the parents' house and they just slow down. So since you also experienced that, why? Basically, why did you say, okay, I'm not
going? It's a mixture of things, but for starters, it goes back to the person. When we get a certain age, like my grandmother used to say, you start smelling yourself. And so you feel like, well, I'm grown. I don't live at home anymore. I don't have to go to church because Mom said I don't have to go. But then that's when, we open that door and the enemy starts to come in because, see, you're not getting fed. You're not getting that spiritual food that you need. And so if you don't have that spiritual food some kind of way, we leave ourselves wide open. And that's what happened to me. I would make exceptions. I would make compromises. If I had to work on a Sunday, I would be, okay, well, I can't go this Sunday because I have to work. And then by this time, it was I was separated at the time, so it was just me and my kids, and I worked 2 jobs plus a part-time job. Mm-hmm. And so I had 3 small kids in a city with nobody that I knew, and so I would make exceptions. Okay, I can't go to church this Sunday, so I'm going to go next Sunday, and then next Sunday ended with another next Sunday, and before you know it, I got comfortable just not going, but sending my kids. So it's one of those things where you really have to make up in your mind that this is what I need to do. I need to be in the house. I need to hear the word. You're not getting it throughout the week, and then you're not getting it on Sunday. Mm-hmm. So really, you're not getting any spiritual food, to help you spiritually. And we need that in order for us to function, even mentally and physically. We need that. And so it was easy for me to start making those exceptions and compromising. And that's why I'm always talking about you don't compromise your relationship with God for anybody. So at that time, I wasn't at that point of knowing that, with God, okay, if I need, my bills paid, He'll do this. I'm not worried about that. I was just scared.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh Lord, how am I gonna pay these back? I got these 3 small kids, and in my mind, I'm saying I'm not going home. I'm not going back to Virginia. I don't care what hit me. My motto was, I don't care where I am or what I'm going through. I am not moving back home, because I've always been that person. Once I start going forward, I'm going forward. I'm not going back. So it's a mind. It's what is the choices that we choose. It's really the choices that we choose. And my choice was that I had things that I had going on, and I allowed what I had going on to overpower God. And nothing overpowers God. Mm-hmm. Things will go good for a whole minute, and then it was back to being the same old thing. And then that's when I started to build more relationship with God, because everything I tried just wasn't working.
Yeah, and that really sucks.
Yeah.
Because I've done it, and I didn't grow up in church, so if I did go, it would be with my friends' parents, as they went on Sundays, if I spent the night at their house. Mm-hmm. So, as far as, when I did become an adult, I didn't make it my mission to go either.
Right.
Because especially I knew I was doing wrong, and I grew up, don't play with God. But I didn't realize that even though I was not living how He wanted me to, that I could still go to church, listen to the Word. Mm-hmm. It's the point to where, we continue making mistakes intentionally.
Right.
That's the difference.
Being
under the house of God.
Yeah. Yeah.